Jay here from Stretford, Paddock, and this is the Academy Review. Joining me, back by popular demand, is my good friend David Pritt. How are we doing, bro?
Yeah, all right, not too bad.
Yeah.
Just football's back, so we're watching a bit of Paddock, which has been good. So, you know.
I saw you. Me and Joe Smith did the commentary. I saw you popping up there.
Yeah, trying to stay out of the way, but it seems to be on. Don't like it.
The camera just gravitates towards you.
Must be, yeah.
Towards you, Dave. We're going to get into the academy, and we're also going to be looking at our loanees, the players that are out on loan from Manchester United, because we've got quite a few that are doing bits, aren't they? We will start with the academy. The FA Youth Cup. I'm going to start this off, right? I don't think it's as important anymore as it used to be.
I disagree. I really do disagree with that.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'll give you a reason why.
Yeah.
When Jesse Lingard won us the FA Cup.
Yeah, in 2011.
First thing he did when he got home, he got his...
Oh, sorry, the actual FA Cup.
FA
sorry,
Cup,
I thought you
yeah,
meant the Youth Cup. Yeah, sorry, in 2016.
When he scored that goal and won it for us when we're down to 10 men.
Yeah.
First thing he did when he got home, he got his medal and put it next to his Youth Cup medal and took a picture, because I think it does mean a lot to...
The only reason I'm saying it doesn't mean a lot to it is because we've just been beaten, haven't we?
Yeah, well, true. And
who've we been beaten by, Dave? Tell me a little bit about it.
That town, down...
Town, I'll give you that one.
Little town down. If you get on the Mersey and then follow it all the way to
down the
the river,
M62?
yeah.
So you get to the cobbled motorway bit?
Yeah. Not Blackpool, Liverpool.
Liverpool, there you go. Yeah. Yes, Liverpool, unfortunately, knocked us out of the FA Youth Cup. I am joking, by the way, before anyone goes, oh, Jay, don't you remember the FA Youth Cup? Of course I do. But unfortunately, Manchester United went down, didn't we? Went out. Yeah,
1-0 defeat, and they were down to 10 men as well. It just couldn't score, apparently. Yeah, we had all our big players playing. Shori Ture, Hannibal was playing. I think Seversky was captain, and he took it bad. His pictures, you probably be able to see him where everyone's back going towards the tunnel. And he's just sat on the ground in the middle of the pitch on his own, just looking devastated. Missed opportunity, and it's been kind of like that for the past few years. Well, since we last won it. I mean, we beat Salford previous round, looked all right, but this is only the fourth round. Last year we got to the semi-finals, and it was a bit of an awkward one because we played it, I think, the start of this year, but we only could play last season's squad, and some of them have moved on and stuff. So we played against Chelsea, got beat. Year before that, we beat Chelsea in the third round. Mason Greenwood scored a hat-trick, amazing game, and then we get battered by Brighton in the fourth round. Just didn't make sense. Year before that, third round, got beat by Derby in penalties, and then year before that was Southampton at Old Trafford. Just a long-range shot beat us, and I wouldn't say we're the worst team in all them. It just seems to be a bit unfortunate, and you can see that I've always mentioned that the league don't really matter. The under-23 league don't matter. It's about developing players. But I think there is something with the Youth Cup. I think United do want that Youth Cup because we do have the record of the most wins in it. And you go back to the Busby Baby era, we were dominant.
We dominated that, didn't we?
Yeah, and I think the players and the staff, that's the thing they want most in the academy football. And we just haven't seen to. It's been 10 years now, and we've still not even been to a final. So I don't know what the answer is there. We've got the teams that are good enough. We just don't seem to be doing it at the moment.
No, you're right, and it's strange because you look at some of the players we've got. You mentioned a couple of them, the stars.
Yeah.
These are the types of players that are being spoken about across the world. Clubs across the world are interested in them, and you do get that almost like that vibe we mentioned the 2011 team, where you've got these players that people look at and go, "Oh, this is fantastic! Look at this player. Look at this player. He's someone who's going to go on and have a great career." Like to show with Ture, people already touting him to be a future star. You mentioned Hannibal as well, but do you think that we just don't have enough quality throughout the team, or do you think there is a bit of luck? Do you think there's other teams who are just other clubs who are perhaps investing more in their youth? Because we've seen the likes in the past. You mentioned Chelsea last year, who sort of do focus on bringing in youngsters, don't they?
Yeah. From
all over the world, and seem to invest a little bit more in. What do you put it down to, Dave?
I really don't know, because look at the league table. It doesn't lie. We're top of the table. We beat Liverpool in the league, I think, twice now, home and away.
Yeah.
And then just one, they would, like I say, 10 men, and we're all over them. We just couldn't score. I just think it's one of them, and that's what happens in cup competitions. Sometimes you just can be unlucky, and I think for the past, like I say, the past 5 years, where I've mentioned, maybe the Brighton game where we didn't deserve it. I think we were a bit too cocky because we beat Chelsea the previous round. But everything else, we've been a bit unlucky, really. And it really is unfortunate because, yeah, I'd love, you know, a youth cup in the next few years. It's just something that I think the club needs just to show. It does show the other younger lads, you know, if the 18s win the youth cup, you can, like the under 12s, listen, that could be you in a few years winning that youth cup. And players, they always, if you win the youth cup, they're the players that everyone looks at.
There's something iconic about those FA Youth Cup winning teams, isn't there? You mentioned the Busby era teams. Those are the teams that people like, you know, you like Bobby Charlton, Duncan Edwards, and players like that. You look at the 92, the class of 92, when they won the FA Youth Cup. Yeah. Everyone looks up to those players, like you mentioned in their Giggs, Butt, Scholes, David Beckham, of course. 2011, Paul Pogba, Ravel Morrison, Brian Tunnicliffe, don't forget.
Jesse
Lingard.
I mean, you look at that team.
You know, these are
Sam Johnson
players.
in goal.
Yeah.
Ron Ziegler was in that team as well. You know, these players go on.
Michael Keane in that team.
Yeah, and Will Keane.
Yeah, both Keane brothers. Obviously, Michael Keane went on to play for England. So
it does mean something. I think if you win that competition, people look at you more.
Yeah.
You know, they're more interested in you. I mean, I've looked at it when we got beat by Liverpool in the final in 2007. If you type in FA Youth Cup 2007, there's loads of articles about where them players now, you know, the Liverpool players who won it. And, you know, there's different news outlets that have done that. And because it is, people want to know, and people are interested in people who've won it. But yeah, once again, just unfortunate. I suppose the good news out of it was Hannibal. Now it's come out that he's training with the first team more regularly, like Shoretire has been, like Ahmad has, and looks like he's going to be the next one to make his first team debut, which is good.
What can you tell us a little bit about Hannibal, mate? Because I know you speak about him quite a lot. Some people may be watching, they may not. Some people may know a lot about him, others may not know as much. Just tell us a little bit about what type of player he is and what you make of him.
In my opinion, he's the most fouled player in world football.
Really? Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah, if you're playing against him, it'd be a pain in the backside.
Really?
He's good on the ball. He'd be annoying and you'd want to kick him kind of thing. But having him on your team, he's brilliant. He is great with the ball. He's got a good strike. He's got a good pass. He's good dribbling with the ball.
Where does he fit into this team?
For me, his best positions, he does go out wide, but I like him just behind the strikers. I think he's effective in midfield, but, you know, more forward. He's a cracking player, and he's one of them. I think he would have been the first one to get his debut out of Shoretire and all that, because he was the player doing well, but he got a bad shoulder injury. Him and Ananga in the space of a couple of weeks both got shoulder injuries and been out, but he's back now and, like I say, training with the first team, and I do think that they'll give him a shot. I don't think he's in the squad for this next Europa League game, but depending who we get next, he could be put in and given a go, because I think in the last round didn't Shoretire play?
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, why not Hannibal? I think he deserves it, and yeah, he's going to be a cracking player.
If you had to compare, I know you don't like to do this, and I always put you on the spot, and I apologise, Dave, because you're going to be like, oh, Jay, man, do you know what I mean? Now I'll get a load of stick. But if you had to compare him to someone, because basically that's what I like to do, I like to have a comparison. What type of a player would you say, oh, he's a little bit like him? Not saying he's as good as or better or whatever, he's that type of player.
I don't like saying, because I'm going to... If there's
someone
who...
Right. Disclaimer, you know, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Right, I'm not saying he's like him,
right,
but the ball sticks to his feet like it did with a fellow French player with a bald head.
Mikel Silvestre.
Oh, no, yeah. No, sometimes, honestly, I don't think he is that calibre of player yet.
Yeah.
But the way the ball sticks to his feet is very much Zidane-esque.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. You've heard it here. So you're saying Dave Pritt has announced, right, that Hannibal is better than Zinedine Zidane.
Got better hair.
Better hair, right, okay. Listen, us baldy stick together. I can't argue with that one. He has got a wonderful head of hair. Didn't go our way in the FAU Cup. Disappointing for lads. I hope they can sort of learn from it, grow from it, put it behind them. Like you were saying, some of the players, obviously, you can see from social media, it's really hurt them. But it is a learning curve, and they've got nothing to be ashamed of, because, I didn't watch the game, but from what I've seen from the reports, they were very unlucky.
It could have been bad timing as well, because it was just after the international break as well. England under-18s played Wales, and there's 3 United players involved in there.
Yep.
Will Fish was involved, Shola Shortere was involved, and for Wales, Charlie Savage was involved, representing his dad's. Because I don't think he was born in Wales.
No, I presume, obviously, for those who don't know, he is Robbie Savage's son.
Yeah. Well, I think his mum and dad. Well, his dad's Welsh.
Well, so he's following in his father's footsteps and representing Wales.
Nice
to be honest with you, I don't blame some of these players. You know, if you've got Irish or Welsh or Scottish heritage playing for those teams, purely simple because as well, the circus that goes on with England, I sometimes think, especially with young players, it's just horrible.
With him as well, especially if he was born in England, I'm not 100% sure, but I know he's raised in England.
I think he's still qualified to play for England if he wanted to.
Yeah, but he'd been watching his dad play for Wales. So, you know, as a kid, he's going to be wearing a Wales shirt and he's going to be supporting Wales. So, yeah, I think it's brilliant he's gone to Wales.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can completely understand that. Didn't go our way in the under-18s, the FA Youth Cup. In terms of loanees, we've got quite a few out. Who have you got for us?
Yeah, well, first of all, Tedden, he hadn't played for Derby, but he went with an England camp and played for the England's under-19s against Arsenal's under-23s.
That seems like the most normal thing I've ever heard. The England under-19s playing against Arsenal's under-23s. Yeah. Right, okay.
England ended up winning 6-1. So,
of course they did, it's Arsenal.
And plus Tedden was playing, so obviously. Also, international-wise, Levitt was on the bench against the Czech Republic, the game where Dan James scored the
header.
Yeah.
Dan James, all 5'1" of him, whatever he is.
I think
getting on his head on things.
I think Dylan Levitt whispered in his ear before the game, and that's why they won.
Yeah. That goal was made in Manchester.
Exactly. But, I think Levitt, it's got to be a bit awkward for his internationals because he's flying from
Croatia, isn't he?
Exactly, yeah. So, mad one. But, fingers crossed he'll get a couple more games for Wales soon.
It is the start of his career is already one of the most random careers ever, where you're getting into the Wales squads and you're not getting into your club squads. Then you go on loan to Croatia. I think it's Croatia, isn't it? It does seem a little bit different, shall we say? But he's obviously a hugely talented player. We saw him briefly for the first team, didn't we, in Astana?
Yeah,
he was one of the players that made his debut there. So hopefully he can go away on loan, get some games with Wales as well for the national team, and just get into the mix and come back to Manchester United and perform for the first team eventually.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, his mate Jimmy Garner's doing bits in the Championship as well. They won 1-0 at Cardiff away. Guess who got the goal?
Even though I know, go on.
Of course
it's a rhetorical question. Go on. Yeah,
James Garner with a great goal, edge of the box, and also got in Team of the Week in the Championship.
I mean, just asking about Jimmy Garner. We spoke about him extensively last time we were on the Academy review. And he's someone that the Forest fans have just been raving about, comparing him to Sergio Busquets. He's been winning Player of the Man of the Match awards. Been getting in Team of the Weeks and things like that. He's just been almost a revelation, really, for the Forest fans over there. How well do you think he's playing? Do you think he's playing to a level that next season Ollie's going to have a decision to make, or do you think we've got to sort of temper our expectations a bit?
I think you got to do a bit of both, really, because he does look amazing at the moment. You know, since he's gone to Forest, he's been just hit the ground running, looks amazing in every game, scored 2 goals now. When he was at Watford, he started off well, but it kind of petered out, and I don't know whether he was left out, and then it got to his head a bit that he wasn't playing, but United brought him back because they didn't enjoy his loan there, and he's, like I say, gone to Forest, and it's just been, I think they're so happy with him, and I think if they had the choice, I think they'd try and keep him for another season loan. Yeah,
I mean, from what I gather from the Forest fans, they absolutely love him, and you can understand why they'd want to keep him, but I'm hoping that next season he can come into the United squad. I don't know if he's going to go into the first team, but
you don't know. I mean, I'm always going on about it, but the fact that Ethan Galbraith's still not got a game this season,
that bugs you out, doesn't it, mate? Really does. You're a big fan of Ethan Galbraith, aren't you?
And to be honest, it's hard to compare him at the moment. You don't know whether Garner's probably is doing better because he's playing in the Championship more competitive, but I think if the way that we were short on midfielders and Galbraith couldn't get into the team for whatever reason, Garner might think to himself, well, I'll go out for another loan next season. We don't know, but fingers crossed. I think the 3 midfielders we mentioned deserve a few games for United.
100%. Who else have you got for us? Who else has been doing bits on loan?
Taif Chong, he started in a 2-1 win away against, I can't pronounce these.
Go on.
Court Rich.
Shall I have a go? Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Facts I won't. He's been doing okay, hasn't he, over at FC
Yeah,
Bruges?
he's getting game time, which is all that matters. Like I say, I've not really seen any video footage of him playing, but he's getting ratings-wise. It's not, it's all right. You can't really complain with it. It'd be interesting to see what happens when he comes back, whether they maybe send him out on loan somewhere else, or they move him on, or they involve him in the first team squad, because we are short on right-sided players, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, this is a kid who was sort of lauded, wasn't he? Raved about by so many people. Got a little bit of a chance in the first team, sort of cameos. Didn't do anything.
No.
If I'm being honest, I didn't see a lot of him at youth level, but I saw a lot of him for the first team when he played, and he didn't do anything where you go, there's a future star.
I think that was the problem.
And I'm not. I know. Listen, I'm not having a dig at the kid because he was. When you're bringing in 19, 20-year-olds into the first team for 10 minutes at the end of a game, I don't expect them to be, Ryan Giggs or whatever. But I'm just being honest. He didn't do anything where you go from a fan's point of view. Wow, he's the one for me.
I do think with someone like him, you do need to play him more often. Like I say, the little cameos don't.
Yeah, I understand that.
He's not an impact sub like you see some players are. So yeah, he needs game time, and yeah, he's getting it at Bruges at the moment. Last one really is Deschamps Bernard. He's not been playing for Salford since they've got Gary Bowyer, their new manager. Richie Wellens has gone. This Gary Bowyer's come in. I think he was already there, if I remember.
Yeah, I think he's so.
And I think he's one of them managers that, we don't want to play lone players.
Yeah.
So Bernard, who's been in multiple team of the weeks, team of the months, not playing at all now.
That's a weird one. When he's obviously been playing well. I mean, you've spoken about him. You mentioned the fact there that he's been in team of the week, team of the months. And then I know when you're a new manager, you've got your own way. You sort of want to stamp your authority and impress your own impression on the team. But it does seem a little bit strange that you're just going to go, well, he's a lone E. I'm not playing him.
I think some managers are like that. They come in and maybe he's thinking for next season, right? Because I don't really know with Salford, but the way they set the manager and they're looking to next season to push on, and they're thinking, right, what squad are we going to play next season? And so they're just not using him. But he's a tool that's there and he's an asset, so why not use him?
I used to interview Gary Bowyer when he was at Blackburn, and this is a really relevant story I don't want to tell you, but when we used to sit in a huddle, you sit there and you'd be interviewing a manager and you'd have your phone out like that and ask him questions. And Gary Bowyer's the only manager I ever know who did it. He'd take your phone off you and hold it himself. And he just hold it, he'd go like that and just sit there like that. It was always so strange. That's my only memory of Gary Bowyer. Hopefully, Deschamps Bernard will get some more game time under Gary Bowyer or whoever comes in for Salford manager, because he seems to change the managers more often than most people change the socks, don't they? Yeah. Down there, Gary Neville is ruthless, isn't he? After he's missed don't sack the manager.
It's crazy.
He's one of the worst ones for it. But we'll see what happens with him. Anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, one last one. Palestri, he's over in
Facundo.
Yeah, he started in a loss against Celta Vigo. Remember them from the semi-final?
Oh, mate, who was it? It was the other kid. Gundietti, was it?
I can't remember.
Remember, he nearly scored in the last minute to knock us out. The ex-City player. I was getting his name wrong. You know what I'm on about. Yeah. Yes, I do remember Celta Vigo. They had good fans, though. Give them that.
Yeah, they actually did. That was good. That.
DL came down to City Centre. They're absolutely loving it. Good luck.
But yeah, he's playing. He started for them, which is good. Playing in La Liga, it's the top level. So yeah, looking good. But he's one of them where we got him, but we didn't get him for now. We got him for the future, because I think there's going to be some rule changes where you've got to play so many homegrown players and stuff. So we got him in early.
Brexit rules. Aye, that sort of stuff.
I think it's all over Europe. But yeah, we can call it that if you want. But yeah, I think like him and Ahmad and people like that, they got in for a couple of seasons in the future, not for right now. So
yeah, I mean,
just thinking ahead.
This is the thing with us United fans. Sometimes, and I count myself in this, we're not the most patient people because we've been spoilt under the Sir Alex Ferguson. But yeah, we may have to be a little bit more patient with the likes of Facundo Palestre, Amad Diallo even, and some of the other youngsters you've mentioned there. But all in all, disappointing the FA Youth Cup, but it's good to see that some of the youngsters are doing well out on loan, and hopefully the club is moving in the right direction and moving forward. Just finally, before we wrap up, Dave, I wanted to get your take on the Nicky Butt situation. He's moved on. Left the club. He's someone who's obviously been involved in the youngsters, been involved in the academy. Is a club legend. I don't use that lightly. I think he does fall into that category from the trophies he's won and the performances he's put in as a Manchester United player. Disappointing from a fan point of view to see him go, but someone who's seen the sort of setup there, are you surprised by that? You worried?
Yeah, I'm not worried. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. I mean, yeah, he was the face of it really, but I think he was under Nick Cox as at the top of the, who runs the academy more or less. I don't know what's gone on. There's rumours that there's been arguments with
John Murtaugh. Yeah, apparently them two don't get on.
I don't know. I really don't know. But I think I'm worried. Not really. I think United know what they're doing with academy recruitment and things like that. I mean, he has been under-19 manager when Ricky Sprazier was kicked out of the under-23s. He took over till we found a new manager. So he is an asset to have there, and obviously he's someone who has won the Youth Cup. He's won the Premier League. He's won everything with United. So kids can look up to him and think,
Yeah, there's that element as well that almost people, dismiss, but he is a person that some youngsters would know.
Yeah, and I think he is helpful with players. I think some players really like his influence and what they've done. So yeah, it's a real shame, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Dave, much appreciated for that. It's great to have you back in the fold, and hopefully, despite the FA Youth Cup
there's always next year.
There's always next year, exactly. Do you know what I mean? We'll go again, as someone once said. Dave, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at David J Pritt or Instagram at David Pritt with no J.
No, and eventually you're going to start doing YouTube stuff again.
Maybe.
I keep saying this, yeah. Maybe
We'll
one
see.
day we'll get Dave back on the YouTube bus, other than on this channel, of course, where he'll always be. If you're not doing, make sure you go and check out some of the other videos. I mentioned earlier the Ravel Morrison interview, and Maka did a great interview with Ravel Morrison where he spoke about the 2011 FA Youth Cup final win. Unfortunately, the last time we won it, can you believe it? 10 years ago, but that was...
Sat in this very chair, didn't he?
He sat there and he spoke about it, and we won't go into some of the other things he said about Arsenal, but if you want to find out, go and watch it. So make sure you're checking that out. If you're not doing as well, give us a like and a share and subscribe. That's been Dave. I've been Jay Motty. This has been the Academy Review. Thanks for watching.